You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.
We have an amazing guest here with us today.
Yes.
I'm super excited to have him here. He's like I'd call him like my fairy, I don't know.
Godfather,
Fly Father. I could feel like Godfather
I can see
doesn't.
that because he definitely just dropped some jewels before we came.
Man,
Yes.
It's like literally you can have a 5-minute conversation with him and he's like just dropping them on you. Guys, please join us in welcoming Mr. Chaseray Harvey today.
Hey, I am totally feeling the love and the aspiration that I have today. So I'm so glad to be here.
That is so awesome.
On Halloween also, so I'm gonna have to say,
And you heard it first.
I'll have to say to a lot of people out there, pick-a-boo.
So do you still celebrate Halloween like that?
I celebrate Halloween every single day.
Really?
Yes.
So it's always treats. Life's always a treat.
It has to be, because that's the only way to live life. Don't wait until you're 80 and then start thinking about living life. You live life every day. I get into character all the time with my daughters, my son, my wife. That just keeps everything vibrant around the Harvey house.
I was just going to say, like, is it that you're doing it or you just fly every day?
The whole family is fly. Let me not even lie to you. Literally, the whole family is fly, and they have such great personalities. It's crazy to be able to see like
everybody can't have that suit drip.
No. Do you wake up in a suit?
I wake up in pajamas. You can call it a suit or
matching pajamas. Like I want to know. Like is it like a 3-piece pajama? Like is it always like?
Well, if you count the underwear, it's 3 pieces.
Oh, I love it. So, okay, this has been an amazing, crazy year. You've been able to see so much. We've seen so much like go on, and you, Mr. Harvey, you're really busy. Like you're always like on the road. But around this time of year, it's kind of special for you. Why is that? What's going on?
Well, this time of the year we have our annual charity ball. It's PEP Houston Charity Ball, and it's an opportunity for us to rally, unify, and bring people together to do something extraordinary. And it's dear and near to my heart to be able to raise funds for the fight against cancer, as well as anyone stricken by any illness. We found it in our hearts to really, step back, smell the roses, define that we have enough, and it's time to give back.
Yeah.
And to do it in a great way. And so over the past 4 years, it's just been very powerful and dear and near to my heart. And also, this gives me goosebumps, and the joy that it brings is better than any material object that life can ever give you, is to be able to see a person that is fighting an illness, and you bring sunshine to their life. So that's our campaign and cause.
I love that. So, Mr. Harvey, here at it on KickN IT, we really want to get to know the person behind anything that you do. So, before whatever it is else that you do, what was that evolution like for you, going from little Chaseray? I don't know. What did they call you when you were younger?
A lot of things, but I won't be saying it on the air.
What was that evolution like? Did you always know that you wanted to do things like this, like have your own organization? Like, what was that evolution for you like?
All I can say is this here, and it kind of correlation with my book is about to come out. Just thank you for calling me stupid. And I just recall the time that when I was running home from school, and it's my first report card that I really could identify with myself as well as with my siblings. And I was so excited. I was jumping down, up and down. Ooh, 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 ooh. And my mom says, calm down, calm down, calm down. It says, what's going on? I said, I got my report card. And she says, hold on a second. I'm looking at your brother's report cards right now, but I'll get you your report card in a minute. And I said, Mom, you got to see my report card. You got to see my report card. And soon as she looked at my other siblings' report card, they were honor roll students, A's, B's, blah, blah, blah. She says, so tell me what you got. You're so excited. And I said, I'm dynamic and fantastic. And she opened up my report card and she says, no, boy, you stupid.
Oh.
And that gut wrenched me there for a minute.
That's a crush.
That really hurts.
I'm like over here like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that gut wrenched me. And then my siblings is, a family of 6. They laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed throughout my childhood, as well as my other relatives. They just laughed at me.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, they put Teflon on me, and it gave me this determination that I was going to prove them wrong.
Yeah.
And it got to a point that where I just told them, I said, one day I'm going to make just as much money as all of you together as my siblings. And lo and behold, as I reflect over the years, what they did for me was a total blessing. They put Teflon on me.
Yeah.
And every adversity I come up against, when someone told me I couldn't do anything, and all of a sudden they just fueled my fire just to be victorious in any given situation where most people turn away. And that would explain my childhood to adulthood right now.
So that was like your motivation, the fire behind everything that you do. Did you, man, because I feel like a lot of people, they have that fuel from adversity. Do you think it was a positive type of reinforcement for you, though? Like, how did it change your perspective on success, though?
At the time, it wasn't positive, but I was able to define it later on because it was almost like a physical exercise going through, but it was a mental exercising, toughening my mindset towards rejection.
That's a big thing because a lot of people can't handle that rejection. Right. That mindset is a powerful thing. Like if that mindset is screwed off, like you can't really stay on track when you're trying to do something positive.
Yeah. So when it came to anything, when it was drugs or anything that obviously was going to take me down the wrong path, I was able to just turn it on a dime.
Okay.
And I'll look back on it and out of my siblings, I can now look and thank them because I did fulfill making more money than all of them put together. And I also can thank them because what they done to me then, I now have benefit from it more than they have. When they hit the hard stumps in the road, they weren't able to rebound from it as fast as I was able to rebound from it.
Yeah. I think it really does, like, it does that to people, especially when you work hard to get to a certain place and you have that inner voice kind of feeding you and giving you that motivation. It's different than people who have it easy their whole lives. Like if you're just automatically that person who just takes like amazing tests or automatically like that amazing athlete, I don't think you value it as much as if you had to put in so much more effort, especially when they already counted you out. Like the underdog story, I think there's so much more to the underdog story than people realize. Like the way that it builds character within you, it's crazy.
Because you got to think, like when you're an underdog, nothing is really being poured into you.
Yeah.
So when you finally start to get that recognition you start pouring in the little bitty cups along the way. So you start reaping the benefits, you know what I mean, off the things you really don't know because nobody taught it to you. Yeah. Like if it was people that was really reaching back and pulling people up, the underdog, what would be the underdog story? It really wouldn't be an underdog story because everybody would be considered equal. Yeah.
And so that I would say is what Pep Houston is about, right? It's about creating or cultivating the person has that journey. You're giving them more opportunities. You're allowing them to see this isn't the final road for you. Like there are other options, right?
I totally agree with that. I love the underdog story, but I really believe that it's an opportunity to unleash the seed that's inside of you. There's a certain type of seed inside of you, and once that seed is nurtured right, it unleashes your true talent. And a lot of times in a lifetime, most people never ever find, as we would call that seed, passion. You'll never find it because at the end of the day, it's never been under enough pressure to allow it to ignite itself.
Yeah.
So as I would say, I want to be able, as well as with my wife, we want to be able to just to ignite that seed to where that if a person is suffering from cancer, they are able at one point in time that they're pretty much thinking that their days are numbered. But because of the love and the support that we put around them, they can now come back and have some normal life to even better than where they were before, even though they were stricken by this disease.
Yeah.
And then in other cases where they actually are, their days are pretty much numbered, that they live their best life and they live their life, the end of their life, with a smile or joy on their joy in their life and a smile in their last days. Because at that time, when people, you now know that their days are numbered, most people abandon these people in their her lesser days. Yeah. And for us, we move towards them and try to continue to bring joy in their final days.
I like that.
I like that. I know earlier he said something about passion. And I feel like the understanding of passion is really hovering over a lot of people, you know what I mean? Because everybody, I feel like, is a jack of all trades. They like to do a lot of things. I feel like people don't really understand what is really their passion because they only gravitate to whatever's making money at the time.
Or they don't understand their purpose.
Passion. Yeah. Like, I feel like it's a whole nother class that goes by understanding your purpose and your passion so you don't, I guess, backslide or go down the wrong road.
Yeah.
Because people can take advantage of you just easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got to be able to, you know, there's just so many different distractions, so many things that are brainwashing us: the TV, Instagram, Facebook, your friends, you know, and then the other part, the inherited behavior from my mom and dad. They didn't get the upbringing that they should, and then all of a sudden that becomes a crutch. All them things, you just got to be able to say, hit the pause button on it, and just really understand the quickest way to one point to the other is a straight line. No matter what occurs on that straight line, you stay the course. If you stay the course, success is on the other line.
I agree with him. It's not mama and daddy's fault that you didn't make it because you didn't put your foot for the effort.
See, I feel like that also goes back to what we were talking about with JJ was you have a certain responsibility as an adult to do the self-work and to acknowledge the gifts that are inside of you, what you've been equipped with, and the opportunities that have been given to you. Like, at some point, the excuses have to, like, go, right? Just because there's so many resources. Now, granted, some people don't know how to access resources, but you never know what you need until you ask for it, or you never know how to get to what you need unless you ask for it. And then at that moment, you may be asking for the wrong thing, but it all starts with a question. And so, Pep Houston, I know that at the this gala is for fundraising for those that have cancer, towards cancer research, and then for the families, correct?
That's correct.
However, throughout like the rest of the year, what does Pep Houston do? What is the purpose of Pep Houston?
It's a people enhancement program.
Okay.
Taking the opportunity to interface with anyone and communicating with them with inspirational words and allowing them to be able to define the invisible possibility, see the invisible possibility within inside themselves, where they can qualify to justify themselves. They can understand clearly what's occurring is not long-term or permanent. And then to be able to let people understand to say, the invisible possibilities is all subject to how you think of yourself. And so at one point in time, a person saw an object in front of them, and then the next person saw and said, well, that's a tree. And then the next person afterwards, the third person walked up and saw that tree that the first person saw as an object, second person saw it as a tree, third person walked up and says, no, that's not a tree. What is it then? He says, well, it's paper, pool sticks, houses, chairs, and last, it's an oxygen machine. And so they were able to see more than what the object or tree as we see it today. And so in real time, whatever's happening in your life, depression, or you say words like, well, I have a problem. Well, you really don't have a problem. What you have is a learning opportunity. It's occurring to evolve you to become someone greater than where you are. So there's not, the word was created to create anxiety, to stifle you, to give you all them emotions that are tied to, I have a problem or I have a concern. No, them words are abolished in my dictionary. And so I try to abolish that in everybody else's dictionary. Whatever is occurring right now, it's like you're sitting on a potter wheel. And whatever's occurring right now is to shape you into what you supposed to do before you leave this planet. So you should embrace every facet of what's going on, because it's trying to define you and make you become who you really should be before you leave this earth.
I agree.
I like that.
Because you got to embrace things. Like, if you never accept your surroundings, what's going on, you can't grow.
Yeah. Yeah. If you live in denial, I promise you, you're not going to be able to make it. And so you spoke about your book, Thank You for Calling Me Stupid, which, first of all, I just love the title.
I was just going to say the title is bomb. Can't even be
that
mad.
alone, I personally am like, okay, I love that. But is that like the type of journey that we get to experience in this book? We get to experience you seeing yourself in a different light after you have that acknowledgement of who you are?
That's exactly right. You'll see a variety of different phases of my life, as well as the people in my life, as well as what I was just sharing with you, being able to speak about the journey and changing, transforming people instantly on the spot, of saying, after having that conversation of seeing the invisible possibility, they actually believe and understand that philosophy, and then their lives are transformed, and it's passed on and continue to pass on and pass on and pass on and pass on. There were people I've met, they were 16 and now they own an oil company, or they were 16 and now they own a race car track, or they're 16 now and they got 10 dentist offices. With no higher education, it was just based upon the consistency of my behavior and conduct, and by me fulfilling and believing in the philosophy that I talked about and inherit. They are now transformed, and they have gone on to bigger and better opportunities, even beyond what I have accomplished, which is I'm so proud of.
I love that. Okay. Well, can you let us know what we should expect from the gala? Is there do y'all have any special guests coming or anything like that?
Well, I think all our special guests are the people that are actually challenged by cancer. So they are the most special people in the room. And then after that, it's just the people who are unified and rallying for the cause. They're obviously, if we do it in order, they would be my next primary focus. This year, we're going to do it a little bit differently. We'll have two DJs. Names are not being announced yet until we finalize the paperwork.
Okay. Say that. You hear that? Look, we're going to do the business first.
It's going to be, my lovely wife, my queen, my joy, my aspiration, my princess, Madison. She's the love of my life. And my oldest daughter, my oldest son, they will be in attendance. But we don't do it at the Hotel Tuscany. It's a new boutique hotel off of Pine Mountain and 43rd Street.
Okay.
It's a real nice new luxury hotel, and that's going to pretty much be the evening, other than we will have the Nobel Awards. This is going to be an opportunity where we're going to be recognizing some of the people over the last 4 years that have come and done something profound within inside of our organization and given of their free time, love, and support. So we'll have the Nobel Awards. And then other than that, we'll conclude the evening with a lot of dancing and a lot of excitement, because, I can take it to a whole nother level.
I love that. His energy is always on 10. What is it that you say every time you see somebody when you introduce? You're like, what is it? I'll ask you how you're doing. You'll say,
fantastic, unbelievable, extraordinary, phenomenal, on a whole nother level.
Well, that's a whole.
That's it, right? I need that kind of enthusiasm. I feel like that needs to be someone's alarm clock.
Matter of fact, he finna go make me go home and write some stuff.
Right?
Fantastic, phenomenal. What else? Let me go.
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary, phenomenal, on a whole nother level. Yeah. I say that every time I answer the phone. That's what I'll say. I'm not saying it because it's just a jingle. I say it because that's my belief.
It breathes life.
Right.
I think affirmations are good. Yeah. I mean, some people are like, why do you always affirmations? They're nice, but they don't change anything. But they do, because when you change someone's mind and their perspective, you change their whole life. Yeah. And so for you to be able to do that consistently, it's no, I don't care what my current situation is. I don't care what just happened, but this is the state that I need to be in. This is the state I need to remain in. So let me tell you exactly where I'm at and how I'm feeling.
Well, people enhancement program, that's the part. It's what you call basic principles.
Yeah.
And no matter what's going on, you just got to be consistent. A statue is consistent. The stairs are consistent. The alphabet is consistent. And a lot of times people say, oh, it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work because you're not using it anymore. You just started doing something different. If you say that affirmations are great, then everything that you do is based off an affirmation. Mm-hmm. And if you follow in that stream, then there's extraordinary things that occur.
I love that.
It just happens time and time again. God blessed me in so many different ways and magically. I mean, I could sit here and talk about a variety of different things that God has done and will continue to do, just as well as being here today. God has did this. I give him the glory of every aspect of whatever happens.
Yeah.
And it's a marvel the fact that when I say something, second later it's like it happens, and I'm like, God, you're showing out again.
Hey, that happens a lot, though. If you really pay attention to yourself, if you go off your thoughts and the things that come in your head, you pretty much right on track.
Yeah.
Well,
it's because you can speak it into existence and like those, but you got to be also very specific sometimes about what you want too. Like you can't just say.
But think about it though. Like if you want to do something in your mind, you're gonna run through the pros and the cons, and you're gonna be like, oh, if I do this, this is what's gonna happen. If I do this, this is right here, this is gonna happen. Like it's in your brain.
Yeah, but it's whatever you focus on. So if you focus more so on the cons, then you're gonna subconsciously lead yourself to that certain situation. But if you're focused more so on the pros and the better outcome, then there's like no way that you can't.
There's no way.
There's no way you can't see that manifested in your life,
especially
if you have the faith and the belief behind it too.
Yeah.
I think focus is the right word to use, but in addition to the focus, you have to be able to create the action.
Yeah.
You want to be a millionaire, all you have to do is just do this repetitive behavior over and over and over and over again. You just can't, well, I'm going to do it on Monday, and I'm going to do this on Thursday. You just got to, if you want to be a millionaire, all you have to do is say, I'm going to save $100 a week for 10 years, and then you're there. But in real time, we won't do that, and we'll get off on all this other stuff. So anything that you want, you just got to stay consistent to it and just be patient. And for me to be, 0 to now about to be 59, all the things that I have gotten to have received in our life is all the things that I stayed on point and never deviate. But early in my life, I deviated all the time, and then I'm like, oh, well, let's try this. Oh, let's try this. And then all of a sudden, at 27, I just settled down and I said, it's a straight road. No matter what, this is the way it's going to go. No matter what I see, as the Bible says, walk by faith, not by sight. And believing that, and sure enough, on the other end, exactly what I was looking for was there because I'd proven that I was worthy for it. And you have to go through them things to actually receive what you want.
Yeah.
I've heard no story that you just automatically get up there unless you were just born rich.
Even then, it's not completely guaranteed. Because you know how like they always make this statement that there's like the black sheep of the family. It's really the person who didn't like apply with that. I feel like if you automatically were already given the resources and you didn't apply those like the talents or, all your resources to that one thing, then of course you won't see it multiplied. Yeah. Money won't sustain you. We've seen people who win the lottery. They get rich quick and then they lose it very quickly because they don't have, like he said, they don't have the fundamental tools to be consistent with it. They don't stay with, this was my goal and I'm going to reach this goal. They're like, oh, well, I've got the money, so let me blow it on this and let me try this and let me do this. And then 10 years later, you're back in the same situation because you just keep starting over and trying new things instead of working towards what the goal is, what the purpose is. Yeah.
But one thing is really magical where I share with people, I say, we as human beings do this behavior really well. Worry. We will worry ourselves.
Quickly. And quickly.
Every time.
Yeah. And then if you worry yourself sick, and now I'm saying use that same energy and that same thought with success. It's so easy to worry all day, tell everybody your problem, blah, blah, blah,
and
blah.
your stress, yeah.
But all you have to do, and it's more enjoyable if you go and do the same thing, but be positive about it.
He actually, You're actually super right, because you know when you're in a bad position, you got a lot of energy to say a bunch of negative stuff.
And then you want to let everybody know something is going wrong.
Tell everybody.
You use different types of languages. Like you don't even verbalize. You be like
speaking Spanish and everything.
Right? It's like a SOS flag. I'm having a bad day. But when it comes to like, you know, what you're trying to see manifested in the positivity, you're like, you don't want to share that. Why is that?
I feel
because there's not enough role models, and that's the one thing
Agreed.
with the PEP charity ball and hanging out with people that are when they rally around a common goal, and not selfishness and not being a bigot or whatever it might be in that category. You have to have good role models that stay consistent in their belief.
Yeah.
And it's very few of them out there, because when people meet me and it's really ironic. Someone called me this morning and says, "Hey, Mr. Harvey, I've talked to you every single time, and you always like jacked up. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. You're jacked up." I said, "Yeah, I'm jacked up all the time. I don't take coffee or a Red Bull or do any drugs or whatever." And she said, "Do you ever thought about being on a radio show?" And I said, "God, you showing out again." Unknown to her, I said, "Well, at 2 o'clock today, I'll be on a radio show." And she said, "Really?" She said, "You might want to take up that profession, because every time you wake up with, every time I interact with you, have this energy, this enthusiasm, these great philosophies, and not only do you say them things, you live by them.
You do.
And in that, the people that surround you have the same characteristics of you, because that's where your fruit of your validation of who you really are. Because when people say, "Oh, I'm the best," blah, 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 well, the thing that validates your character is being able to attract someone just as good as you or less.
The fruits. The fruits.
See, hearing them talk even before, like, we were on air, like, and him just saying this mentorship like, we desperately need that.
Well, no, we desperately do.
African American, in the male perspective,
yeah.
Though. Like the women, you had the women, right? Y'all really pump each other up, but you really don't see that. As far as on the male African American side, reaching back, mentorship, being able to just help people out, breathe life into, hey, you maybe can't do this, but you can possibly do this. Like, you don't see that a lot. I feel like we desperately need that in our community.
There's no question, and it's coming. God has put me on this path. I think I have the certification now to continue to grow. I think this with the PEP charity ball is this platform is being created. It's a mustard seed. It's turning. We're in our 4th year, and in real time, I'll just share this with you. This is brief. We had it at the Hotel Derrick for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. This year, I said, "No, we're going to change the venue." And sure enough, I couldn't find a venue, and I was like, "Man, whatever. We see it's going to work. I'm going to go back to Hotel Derrick." Call Hotel Derrick. That spot's already taken. Come back, driving home, and God just spoke to me. Get off the freeway, turn around, come back to this hotel, and it's still in construction. And I walk in, I meet the owner. He takes me to this really glitzy, over-the-top ballroom. And I'm looking at the thing, and I'm like, "Man, this is going to be a whole lot of money here." So I just might as well bounce.
Save myself.
Look, this is not in the budget.
the whole place, the whole room is dripping all over the place. I was like, wow. And sure enough, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell what the number is, because at the end of the day, somebody will try to go to the hotel and try to get the same number.
Right. That's your blessing.
That's how they do it, too.
Like, that's my blessing. I'm good.
But the room is valued 4 times as much than what I am renting the room for. And that's a fact. And it's also the fact that we will be the first venue or first group to break this room in officially. And next year, I'm quite sure the room will probably be 4 times more than.
See, that was definitely God.
That was God.
Like, I want to know what it is. Did he come through the radio?
How did he say it? He was like, "Hey, look, I got something for you,
hey,
so I need you to."
I need to start listening. Like, okay, I mean, that tapping he was talking about.
Gotta tune in.
So it's called the subconscious mind. That's where God's talked to you, but a lot of times we ignore it, or we think it's ourselves, and that's where it's at.
Yes.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
That's that meat. That's them jewels being dropped.
Right? Just dropping them. So again, let us know what day it's going to be and where. You said the Tuscany Hotel?
Mm-hmm. The Grand Tuscany Hotel, December the 7th, 2019 at 7:30. We started a red carpet and a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of blessing, a whole lot of outreach, a whole lot of love. This is a fantastic time. On that property it's just a sight to see. And I would just invite everybody just to come out or even have a weekend getaway, because this is one of the most exclusive boutique hotels outside the downtown area. It's one of the first hotels of its kind. So they have taken imagery from Dubai, and they've taken imagery from Vegas, and they put it all in one.
That's awesome. So first of all, where can we get our tickets? And then how can people stay in touch with PEP Houston? How can they stay in touch with you? Maybe if they're looking to contribute, or they just want to be a mentor, or they want you to be their mentor. How can they do that?
Well, you can get your tickets at pephouston.com. VIP tables are $450. A single ticket is $55. And how you can stay in touch with me is Pep Houston on Instagram as well as on Facebook, and so you can have to direct message me, and I'm more than willing to help anyone. And I want to do it in a way where it gives from the heart. So I'm open to going to schools, churches, any venue. I'm going to spread my philosophy in a free will way. What I mean by that, I'm allow God to connect with me and allow Him to speak through me, and allow my experiences to speak with solid content of truth.
I love that. I love that. With truth.
Hey, it's important. We need it.
Yeah, the truth is important because, and why I say that, because a lot of people say a whole lot of things, but then they have so much, a person has $40 million, and what do they really do with it? What are you going to do with it? You can't, you're trying to take it to the...
That's God right there. Because I talk about that all the time. I'm like, it's no reason why we shouldn't be doing better than what we... All these people with millions of dollars doing nothing with it. Always talking about they giving back, they doing this. I mean, you can create our own platform for ourselves. We can have another Black Wall Street today. The way we can buy a whole other state if we want to. I'm just saying.
No, we really could.
Nobody's doing it. Everybody's so selfish. I hate it.
Well, them fine lines will be broken down over time. I just think it's in the evolution. It's happening right now. This even the race line. It's not even really a reality, because if you see on TV, you see two races together, and so that evolution is going to continue to occur. It just has to be able to say that why should everybody else do it? Well, it's not. I'm not focusing about why everybody else is going to do it. I'm going to start doing it, and hopefully, if it becomes contagious,
it's a trend.
It'll keep going.
I love that.
I agree.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey, for joining us today. We really do appreciate having you here with us. Make sure, guys, that you go to Pep Houston. That's pephouston.com. Get your tickets. And, I mean, a group of y'all, it's the holidays. Let's turn up.
Yeah, I know y'all like to dress up. It's that time.
Pull out your gowns. Pull out your tugs. Pull out your suits. If you can't find a suit, we'll help you find one.
I guarantee you ain't going to be fresher than Mr. Harvey.
I know. Yeah, probably not. They so fly.
My wife will definitely outdo me.
She is so, oh my God, they are so fly. That's like a whole other situation within itself. But make sure that you stick around and stay with us on KickN IT Radio on 92 KOZ, the home of new music, new artists, new sound.
You're kicking it with G on your favorite station.
The perfect station.
92 KELZ, the only station with new music, new artists, new sound.